Hold on a minute. Hello there. Unless if I heard wrong yesterday or last night, I heard that we're getting a wing stop in West Virginia, or at least in the Charleston area. That's what I heard. Now, I don't know if you've seen the video yet, but of course the news outlets haven't gotten out, so I don't know how true that wing stop at the shops at Kanawha Mall is. I don't know if it's true, but if it is, that would be nice. Wing stop. Yeah. It's probably better than Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah. And I watched this earlier and I thought, why the fuck? You know, I became friends with the most racist man in America. That's one of the racist men in America you met. But that's not the most, I don't think. The most racist man in America right now, I think, is our president of the United States right now. But then again, everything's racist now these days, but he's the worst at it. He's also homophobic. I'm trying to think what else Islamophobic. I hate to say it on here. I'm trying to think what else is he. He's a nihilist. He is a drugged up mafia lord. I'll go through the whole list. You know, that's like 10,000 pages of stuff he's done, but still, actually I can't do that. But there's a lot of things he's done that are not good. I think he's done everything in the goddamn book. Kind of like, you know, how dictators do. They've done everything in the goddamn book. Being a mafia boss, teaming up with other mafia members. Maybe. I don't know. But from what I've heard, he's not a good guy. Some people, and I agree with those people, that he's not a good guy. He is not. I saw him, you know, doing those debates one time, the presidential debate, and I thought, this is stupid on multiple levels of him talking. You know, I just thought of that. You want to know something else? At one time, YouTube had, wow, that's awesome. They got Jurassic Park free with ads. Then they also got that Walking Tall with the Rock in it, it looks like. Yeah. Free with ads. Damn. Spy Kids 4 or Spy Kids 4D, even though we don't have 4D TV. But anyway, Spy Kids 4 all the time in the world. Well, actually, that's trying out. You guys subscribe to that one. What's this? Fred Free Camp Fred. Hey, you remember Lucas Crookshank, right? Well, now Lucas Crookshank is there in travel bait instead of playing that stupid, annoying, motherfucked up character. You know, where was I? Oh yeah. And then also there's SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah, cons. Then there's Batman. Damn, the old Batman series. The one with Adam West and Burt Ward. Burt Ward, sorry. Damn. The Boy Wonder Robin and the Batman. Or Batman and the Boy Wonder Robin. Unfortunately, in some other stories, Robin went on to go to the Teen Titans. And others, well, depending on which Robin you look at. Batman and Robin. Yeah. Even though they don't have really good superpowers, they're fighting crime. They can't, well, and like I said, that's their only power, to use gadgets. Because other than that, Batman can't fly, Robin can't fly. All they know is learn how to fight and use gadgets, I think. No, sometimes Batman glides, but, looks like a superhero, but, of course. I'm not going to tell you otherwise, because some of you may like Batman. See, there's another Batman series right there, and then there's G.I. Joe Ride the Cobra. That's interesting. Isn't that the one with the rock in it? I can't tell. I don't see it. I guess that's a different one. What was the one with the rock? I thought that was Rise with Cobra. Then there's Bar Rescue. John Taffer, the Gordon Ramsay of the bar and nightclub business. In each episode, this series, Taffer helps bars and bars and bars and nightclubs and dive bars and bars and bars and bars, and then he also helps with bottle service, which I didn't know existed. Then he also helps breweries that says they're breweries, but they're not really good at breweries, He's also helped them too, and then he's also helped out with restaurants. Yeah. But that's the first I said, yeah, and then burps. Excuse me, by the way. There's the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, and it looks like Shaggy's wearing a red shirt. That's different. The world's meanest ghosts are... In 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, the world's meanest ghosts are on the loose, and your favorite sleuths must find them. Sleuths? Well, at least, At least you didn't call them slugs, I guess, so. They're fairly up, but Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. I'll tell you who would guess who. Scooby-Doo is a Great Dane. Yes, he is a Great Dane. Now shut up. And for those who say he's not a Great Dane, you're a fucked up motherfucker. And sure, he may not look like a Great Dane in a pup named Scooby-Doo, but he's still a Great Dane. He's a puppy though in that one though. Rugrats, the new Rugrats. And they got a lot of good ones. I thought they would have showed the one G.I. Joe with the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in it, but I guess not. You can't be that lucky. As a fuck toy. Fucking woman. Where she got that fuck toy at Spencer's. F toy. Yeah. I'm gonna cuss on YouTube because I can't use the really, let's see, really bad word like but I'm still gonna cuss. Even though I guess they're all bad, but I meant like I'm not gonna use racial slurs on here is what I'm trying to say, because that's bad. Trying to find a video. I'm not allowed that Epic Universe. Finally talking about Universal Orlando 8 years later. Why Guitar Hero died? Probably because it didn't actually teach you how to play the guitar. That's probably why it died. The horrifying downfall of Tila Tequila. It sounds like something similar to Nikocado Avocado. I mean, she doesn't look like Nikocado Avocado, not in one of those pictures. Now, maybe one of those she does, but maybe. I'm not going to say much about that. You want to know something else, though, too? I watched this the other day. I suffered for a youth pastor romance film. Imagine this, people. Imagine having a youth pastor romance film. That would raise red flags right there, and I guess. And here's the other red flag, people. The director of that movie has some similar name to, like the Donald Trump, but Donald James Parker, I think, is what his name is. So that's also kind of scary in itself. Too, that would raise red flags. Like, why would I want to watch a movie that the director has similar abbreviations like Donald J. Trump, but also the Donald James Park or J. Parker, I think. You know what else I found out there too? I hate to say this also, I know no one's commented yet, but I will get people to comment alright, to some extent, you know. Well, that's interesting. How Extreme Home Makeover Destroyed Families, Extreme Disaster Home Edition. I tell you how Extreme Home Makeover destroyed families. It's probably because they were like giving out the addresses on the show. And number two, you had not only that, people. After that, even though they said, like in one episode, said they paid off all the mortgage, but still, that was a lie, you see, people, I think. So, they're a bunch of fucked up, filthy liars on the put in a reality show, even though reality shows are supposed to be fucking real. Well, according to reality shows, went off the deep end years ago. You know what else used to go off the deep end? I tell you, Daniel Tosh's Tosh.0, and before that was Maury Povich. Then before that, it was Jerry Springer. It turned out, I watched a documentary on Jerry Springer on Netflix, and it was awesome. And of course, Jerry Springer's now dead, and but you know, shit happens. You know, if I had a show, I want it to be like Tosh.0. You see, not Jerry Springer. Hold on a minute. Let me turn up just a little bit.
Vision crew, and they're sending you and your family on a one-week vacation.
See, that's what else they get you. They send you on a
and build you a brand new one from the ground up.
Yeah, they send you on a vacation, which costs to you. Okay.
Although it's pretty obnoxious, it sounds like a pretty good deal, right? Well, it is a good deal until it's not.
Yeah, it's a good deal until it's not.
Angry community members, property tax increases, bills doubling to tripling, and even more families.
They even talked about this on the Dark Side of Reality shows too.
Many of the families that were featured on Extreme Makeover Home Edition ended up worse off than before Ty Pennington showed up on their doorstep.
Well, Ty Pennington was also a crook, I think. Even before Extreme Makeover Home or Extreme Home or whatever the fuck it's called.
Negatively affected by what seems to be a very generous gift. We must first take a look at the families that were carefully chosen to get these homes.
It's bullshit.
Typically, individuals would fill out an application form on the ABC website, which required them to provide a story of why they deserved a new house.
I tell you why you deserve a new house. Probably because it's trashy.
Every episode starts with a story of the deserving family in need, such as a family that lost their mother or father.
Speaking of trashy,
child, a family that's living in
good thing we didn't go on this show like I did.
Show, it was very important to produce the most tear-jerking episodes possible.
Tear-jerking episode. At least it's not a jerking off episode.
Tragedy and faced overwhelming hardship was ABC exploiting them for better ratings. Joe Scarborough of MSNBC claimed that Extreme Makeover has a secret wish list of victims the show is trying to hunt down. They want to find a family who has multiple children with Down syndrome. They want to find a child with a rare condition that causes rapid aging and death. They want to find an extraordinary mom or dad who's diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. Now, if the show was aggressively targeting these people,
or ALS, I think,
especially
Lou Gehrig
for the TV ratings and not for charity. However, it is still a good deed.
ASL, that's American Sign Language. ALS
for now focusing on a
is
family. I don't think Home Makeover is taking advantage of the families. However, I do think that monthly subscription sites take advantage of you and know that most people forget to cancel their subscriptions. Well, today's sponsor, Rocket Money, is here to help. Rocket Money is an all-in-one finance platform that helps you save
Rocket Money. Yeah, we donated to Trump one time, maybe even multiple other times. I'm not joking, people, they did. Oh, and they also stole from Detroit, too, making Detroit a lot fucking worse. Like, I mean, Detroit was already bad in the shape that it was in, but, of course, they made it fucking worse. You know, that doesn't show you. If you look it up, it's on Vice.
Go to rocketmoney.com/PatrickCC.
It was on the Vice YouTube channel one time. That's what they were saying about Rocket Money, that they stole from Detroit and then they donated to Trump.
Get your money.
It's a wonder, people. Yeah, I don't use Golden Nugget anymore. One time I did use Golden Nugget, and I lost a bunch, so I said suspend my account indefinitely. I want to get back into it, but I don't know what's going to happen if I do.
Who would treat the families to a fully funded vacation to destinations such as...
That's why I rather trust the actual state lottery than the casinos or the casino apps.
And volunteers in the local community.
Because at least with the state lottery, you can have these instant scratch-off cards or draw games that take a while. You know, but then again, I don't like the draw games that well because then you have to wait, and I'm an impatient fool. I mean an impatient guy.
Facebook pages so all their neighbors can
that's not a fool, like a royal fool. We have a better chance of I don't know who being a royal. Oh, Shane Storm.
Take the Rapati Pierce family, for example. The mother and father were both police officers, and one tragic night, Christina was shot during a foot pursuit, which led to her being paralyzed from the waist down. So they...
You know what? Stone Cold Steve Austin was paralyzed for a little bit, but then he still wrestled.
They hired the LA SWAT team.
I mean, he got back and moving, but still he broke his neck.
Bombs inside of the house.
I think he broke his neck, and also his leg or something, or whatever it was. or ankle or something, you know. And he broke those things. I think he'd be wrestling up till, well, but I don't know. He could still be wrestling to this day more. I mean, he did return to wrestling, but it took him years and years and years to get that edge back. And Kevin Owens got his wish, you know. And I like both Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I just hate to be bald like Stone Cold Steve Austin, but normally, sometimes I think I'm going bald a little bit, but I think it's the way that my hair goes now. They're saying that soda is causing hair loss. I don't believe that one goddamn bit. Do you? So, but I think they're talking about regular soda more. Still, even with regular soda, it shouldn't cause hair loss. You wouldn't think. Now maybe it might cause tooth loss. I can understand that, but because it may rot your teeth with the regular. But you also gotta remember this though too. The diet soda too, and I know what you're gonna say, diet soda not that good for you either, Bailey. Fuck you, I'm gonna still drink it. Sometimes I drink both. I would drink both at the same time if I could. Chugging contest. Well, except for cola, you know, I can't chug cola drinks that well. I can chug a Diet Mountain Dew, but I can't chug a Diet Pepsi. Or a regular Pepsi, and I don't like regular Mountain Dew, do you?
That ultimately forced them to move out of their homes. Now, most of the time, ABC would entirely pay off the home for the family. However, owning a home is more than just paying a mortgage. Expenses such as property taxes, utilities, and home maintenance add up
See what I'm saying? That Extreme Home Makeover, Extreme Makeover, whatever the fuck it was called, did that.
There have been multiple reports of families whose expenses doubled, if not tripled, within the first year of living there.
Yeah, because, you know, maybe you shouldn't renovate your house for a TV show either. But no, you had to send a video to Extreme Home Makeover Home Edition, Extreme Makeover Home Edition, whatever the fuck it was called. You know, and then you also had to be a dumb blind fuck, but not as smart as Helen Keller, even though Helen Keller's dead. So, okay, we'll find another blind person. I'm trying to think, what is another blind person? Oh yeah, Stevie Wonder, I think. Yeah, because he wears glasses.
Technology. So it's only natural to assume that the bills.
But then again, I don't think Stevie Wonder's that smart either. I don't know if he's smart. He's talented as a musician, but I don't know if he's actually totally smart. But then again, that no one can be like Einstein, because that's hard to be like Einstein too. Okay, I tell you what though. One time, I said something. I'm not Einstein, but I'm smart. If you want Einstein, dig him out of his grave, even though he's dead. Yeah, Einstein's dead.
About $200 per month to as high as $600 after. Their property taxes
or find his brain. I don't give a shit.
Nothing works and I work. So if I have to work another job to help keep it up, that's what I'll do. But as the years went on, it got worse and worse. In October of 2016, William.
But then again, they don't know why Einstein was that smart either. I think they just found. Well, okay, maybe they did. They said he may have had. Even though he looked old, he had yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what they said. And why he was that smart. But to be that smart, you had to be a goddamn genius too.
However, it seems like they never lost that.
That's why also. Never mind.
2022 Google Maps, you can see William and his daughter standing outside the front
Yeah,
door
no one that's smart as Einstein in this era probably never will, because they don't want to learn.
with a heartfelt letter from their daughter Cassandra.
When I was in school, people would sit, well, except for middle school. When I was in elementary school, we listened most of the time, and we learned in elementary school. As I got older, though, after middle school, I said, forget school, even though I had to still go to it. I thought I would never get out of middle school. I thought I would have cussed out the teacher, because she was horrible. Her name is Miss Tina Myers, if you're wondering, but, that's not my problem anymore. It's going to be her problem when she commits neglect or abuse or verbal abuse or whatever she committed. I heard from other people, one other person finally believed me. Well, actually two people. One of them said they didn't like her that well. The other ones called her a bitch.
The Beach family have been trying to sell their
Well,
since February 2013.
And they also called my one elementary school teacher, Mr. Lawson, from, he saying he wasn't nice. Yeah, I used to think that one time I met Miss Tina Myers, I used to hate Mr. Lawson, but as I get older, I'm starting to like him a little bit more and respect him a little bit more, because I guess at one time too, I guess he was a hippie, I can't remember. But then, a lot of people were hippies back then, so.
Backlash from the community, since each home is a community project with hundreds of volunteers.
But then again, Mr. Lawson, for those who don't know, I think he had polio, or has it, because,
Like a gift from their neighbors. The Hassel family decided to sell just 3 years later because it was.
Hate to say that on here, I probably just.
Interviewed members of the community to see how they.
But I'm just telling you the truth, people. I used to hate Mr. Larry Lawson, or Lawrence Lawson, or Mr. Lawson, or whatever. Mr. Larry Lawson, as most people call him. But now I think if I had to choose between Mr. Lawson or Miss Myers, I would pick Mr. Lawson over Miss Myers.
The Nicholas family received a
to see again, and plus the last time I called Miss Myers, I told her that it was her fault for all my past problems, but she'll get her day in hell. It doesn't matter, what I did in the past or not to her. She actually caused all of this. And that's where I learned I learned that there is evil people because of her. Not because she taught me about it. No, he taught me about evil people more. I think was I don't think it was in elementary school, but then I think it was in high school when I started to learn, or maybe elementary school, I don't know, but I can't swear to it though, because here's the thing, I learned about evil people maybe in the 4th grade, I can't, that there was, or 5th grade, right before I went to middle school, that, that they're, that they change the special needs teachers, because I wasn't that type of class, but also I didn't know what I was getting myself into, so I guess I was warned, but I didn't listen at the time, even though I kind of listened, but it's kind of sad too. Also, as for Miss Myers, if you're watching this, don't, because you're a Karen. I can't say the other word. I'm just gonna call her Karen ass redhead ginger piece of shit whore. I don't care what she said. I don't care what she said behind my back. But I'm gonna say a lot of things behind her back too, because she's a goddamn Karen. Hold on a minute. Blues Lies. No, it's Blues Clues. Remember that, people. The internet's most outrageous adult star. Yeah, it's Riley, whatever her fucking name is, I don't know. I think, how I remember James Corden. He was on one of the talk shows. He did good at first, but then, I don't know what the fuck happened. I investigate typo website scams. Fire gun, how to completely annihilate your brand image. I don't know what to watch next, but that one video didn't look good. Yeah. I interviewed the most racist man in America. We already went by this, that's a different video, but that does not look good. Like a good video. Cousins, I went to the incest capital of America. I want to see it had to be Boone County, right? I mean, I hate Boone County too. It has to be Boone County, right? Is it Madison, West Virginia?
Sweet home Alabama.
Fuck! Okay, I guess Alabama does have incest.
Some to some, and an incest mean to most. 7 months ago, I met this guy while I drove through Alabama. Rumor has it they fornicate with their siblings down here. So today, I drove 17 hours to the incest capital of America with one simple question. The question is, do people in Alabama slam their cousins?
Probably.
You know someone who's kissed their cousin?
Yes, sir. Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah, but it's wrong.
One of my cousins.
I think even Alabama is wrong, and then West Virginia is wrong and illegal.
The family decided to do some stuff with my other cousins.
You ever kiss your sister?
Nope.
Did it ruin the family?
I don't really talk to them that much.
So if we keep looking, we will find someone?
You're right.
And sure enough, I found someone. You consider?
Yeah, if I fuck my cousin, I'd be in jail for years. Because it's wrong in West Virginia. I'm just saying. Let's just say, okay, since I don't fuck cousins, let's put it this way, people. You fuck your cousin because you do it and you wanted to. But yet, what you're gonna get is not good.
Make love with your
Probably jail time.
cousin or no?
I'm just saying, people. Look, if I did that, I would be a hypocrite and I would be in fucking jail. Just saying.
Things happen.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think I'd be in jail longer than the minimum.
Kiss your first or second cousin?
She was my
As required.
Where can I find someone who's made love with their cousin in Alabama? Any inside scoop?
So,
Where?
Mumford, Alabama.
Mumford. That's south or north? Hold time, baby. Munford, here we come. I got on the road heading south to the city of Munford, stopped by Birmingham on my way, where I accidentally found my second lead. Have you ever rodeo railed because?
No, dude.
Why do you think that's a stereotype?
Probably that blue family online. There's a family that was so incested they turned blue. Like real. I think they're from Alabama.
Do you have any last word?
Get money.
With a blue smirk incest family lead on my radar, I headed further south and finally arrived in the city of Munford. Excuse me, can I interview you for $5? Have you kissed a cousin?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is she hot?
Yeah.
Hot as hell?
Oh yeah.
You smack?
Yeah.
Here's $5. Where are we right now?
Mumford, Alabama.
You ever kiss a cousin?
No.
Did you ever think about it?
No.
Do you have any words to all the cousin kissers out there?
Quit.
Quit it while you're at it, right? You wouldn't kiss a sister?
Yeah, but I think I would.
Yeah?
Okay, I'm back.
What do you have to say to other cousins?
But then I missed.
Your own?
Yeah?
So you're talking about fucking.
We had found the cousin kisser. I wanted to find a legitimate smirk. And this guy gave me some advice. You get full list of cousin kisser cities.
You gotta go south, man. More south than
Yeah, you gotta go south, man, because we commit incest, man. And yet now we're going to different places.
Fast food chains toilet. I ran into the cousin kisser again. Yo, we need to get you. You guys just meet.
We live together. I just got out of Tarrant County Jail, man.
Okay, congrats on the freedom.
Yeah, thank you.
You know these folks out here, besides our good friend right here.
Look, I can't be dropped.
Where's he at? It's at Guthries, maybe.
Cousin lovers.
Yeah, got a sister, brother, motherfucker.
Where?
Blue Mountain. Blue Mountain is right enough to go. Blue Mountain.
Alright, bud. We're going to Blue Mountain, bud.
Where are you at? Right at Blue Mountain.
Oh, man, I'm nervous. Blue Mountain is apparently a legendary location. It's a DLC map. This is an insane journey. Alabama has exceeded my expectations and then some. Blue Mountain, here we go. So I drove to Blue Mountain and I wondered to myself, is this where the legendary Smurf family lives? As dawn approached and I got closer to Blue Mountain, it was clear that this place was sketchy as hell. So I went to Dollar General to see if I could add a backup NPC to my party, just in case things got weird. I'll introduce someone here for $5. Anyone interested? Yeah? You need $5 up front. What city are we in? Oh, where's Blue Mountain? I thought we were in Blue Mountain.
Blue Mountain is above my head.
We're trying to find someone who's kissed their cousin. That's the goal here. Do you know where we might go?
Blue Mountain?
Do you know someone personally?
No, I don't.
Have you ever thought about kissing your cousin?
Yeah.
Did you do it?
No.
I respect that. Would you like to go to Blue Mountain with them?
No.
Do you have any hot takes?
Careful around here.
Careful. Good luck.
They're decent people, just
Like where you're out. Just go kiss now. Just go kiss me.
Don't kiss him?
Hell no.
What if I kiss him on the mouth? With even more warnings and no backup, I pushed onward to Blue Mountain alone. This place looks awfully dark and scary. All I know is they told us to keep our head on a swivel and be on guard at all times. If you were to stop with no
Oh, it's
gas,
Alabama.
Excuse me. Can I interview you for $1? No? Okay, no worries. Can I interview you for a video? $2? $2? What about $5? No, you alright? But apparently I pissed this guy off because after 8 straight rejections, my cameraman told me this. What? Which one? Red car? Guy that wasn't a passenger. She gave me a peace sign originally and then he walked out.
This is like watching
Nothing says hot.
one of the most This is one of the most controversial videos I ever watched.
You have to be here. This will be our last location.
Probably.
We're out of here. We're going south. Have you ever considered kissing a cousin? No. You know anyone who has? Yeah. Do they tongue kiss? I don't know. Would you suspect that they might? Probably. Does that make you uncomfortable? Can I interview you for $5?
$6, yeah.
Alright, deal. You guys are in a complicated situationship?
No, we're not in a relationship.
No, you guys are not related by blood, though.
No.
Would you guys date if you were related by blood?
No, absolutely not.
I mean, at some point, somewhere down the road, you have to have some sort of relationship.
That's
Where are you from?
I'm from Alabama, too.
This is kind of a weird question.
What do you mean?
This is like, where do we date?
Why is that? That's all from the question. Well, you got $6.
Cousins, brothers, married sisters, all home.
Where are brothers married?
I mean, I know a few people that have.
Tell me that. That's why I'm here to ask. You know, yeah, it's good. Railroad roaded or
I'm not gonna.
freeway fornicated?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm a teacher. I'm not doing that.
Right by Jamet's land?
Shit, why are you asking the restaurants and you don't have to answer?
Okay, my bad. Would you like to answer?
For what?
The scoop on the sisters? Find a cousin.
I probably go south.
Hey, you guys. Fine. My takeaway is we need to go south. Question is, will the cops be called on us? I just want the guys I don't like 3 months ago. After escaping Blue Mountain unharmed, I headed as far south into Alabama as I could go. I know.
Yep. That's interesting.
I stumbled upon an unexpected scoop.
This gas station's on the ground. That tractor's 4-wheel drive right down to Alabama moment, right?
Damn.
What city are we in right now?
You're in the backwoods called Wing, Alabama.
You know anyone who's kissed their cousin out there?
There's some around, but I'm not calling no names.
Got it. So, which direction should I go though?
Go right up the road here. This vegetable thing.
Vegetable stand?
After you pass the church,
Let's go check that out.
Goldberg Coffee.
Oh, the guy at the stand?
Yeah. Young
I'm
guy.
not subscribed to this guy, even though this is a controversial video.
Alright, we'll check it out. Will I get a shotgun from the
Oh.
It's possible. Wood, stone, egg, meat,
Straight right. We're looking for a vegetable stand, and apparently the guy's advanced.
Even though I think this guy
We have to go past the church.
likes controversy. Think about it.
We're entering an unpaved road.
I like it too.
The sign hand painted for the
This is, I think, going a little bit too far asking people that are they cousin fuckers or cousin kissers or cousin coal mining cocksucker fuckers, you know.
Is it a plant?
No, a human being. Can I interview you on camera for $10? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
What is your name?
My name is Jean.
In your time in Alabama, have you met many people who have been in relationships with their family members?
Like incest?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Do you have any advice to someone who may be thinking about kissing their cousin right now?
Please don't. You only have one mate in the world. That mate stays with you forever.
Are you married?
I've been married 13 times. Want to see my marriage certificate?
Sure. This is great. I've never heard of anyone who's been married this many times. Yeah, you married him 3 times. That's just one man.
I tried and tried and tried.
Yeah,
He just had to hit me in the head with an axe to make me realize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I married the same man 3 times.
No.
But God gave you partners to get through life, but you never have but one.
Who was the one for you?
My children's father. He was very evil and very harsh. Beat me. And the last time I was with him, he hit me in the head with an axe. 57 stitches. It scalped me. So that was it
Yeah.
with him.
My girlfriend recently broke up with me.
And that hurts.
Any advice for me?
Only Jesus. Life is good, and you just live it one day at a time.
Thank you for sharing so much.
Thank you.
I left Jean's house and headed to the southernmost tip of Alabama. I realized that love's more complicated than the Disney movies make it seem. Out there it's crazy. And maybe I shouldn't be so quick to judge people, even if they do kiss their cousin. As I stared into the ocean, one
I'm not a judge, you know, because everyone is wrong in the state, and I damn well know it's wrong in Alabama and illegal. It's wrong every fucking where. You know what? What just say this, people? Even though it's wrong and illegal, what to say if I did commit this? Which I'm not. But what to say if I did? What would I have to gain from it? I tell you, absolutely goddamn nothing.
These guys offered me a
Because it's wrong.
beer out of nowhere.
And it's from 2 years ago. I just realized this is from 2 years ago. Okay, that's enough. Anyway, it's over for AEW's Chris Jericho. What? He can return the day they eat in. The Rock's urine. What? What the fuck? The Rock's urine. What the fuck is wrong with the Rock now these days? He found his own urine.
Did you know you could earn money playing games? Nonsense I've all this week. That I've been told my whole life. I am all about that. Also, my friends, we're on to now for Monday Night Raw. And before we do get into it, I just have to house it for you. WrestleMania is around the corner. If you are going, you want to hang out with one culture team, we have some events for you. Come in the Aurora Bar in the Luxor Hotel, which is the closest hotel casino to Allegiant Stadium. You can come down and join us for a SmackDown watch party. We'll have a good old time, but also we are going to do the live ups and downs for WrestleMania Night 1 and WrestleMania Night 2 there as well. You can come along and you can have a good time. Need more information, go to whatcoach.com/tickets right now. There's also some other big events happening over WrestleMania weekend at the Luxor Hotel/Casino. So check out their website right now for details. But yes, once again, when you have watched Night 1 Night 2 of WrestleMania and you want to come have some dumb fun, make sure you come down to the Aurora Bar and don't have tickets to SmackDown, you can do that as well. So I expect to see you there. And also, thank you very much to Surfshark. They sponsored this video. More on that later. Right, with that out of the way, we did just have the penultimate Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania. Was it any good, or did it suck? Let's upload now. But yes, going back to all that nonsense, Adam Pearce was in the ring. He was just like, oh, hi. Really sorry. About last week, I made a huge mistake. I was like, Adam, I could have told you that 7 days ago. What's quite funny though, is he got Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair in the ring. It's the right one. Did I ever let you try and sort your problems out? You lot are not professionals out. He then did say it's going to be a triple threat at WrestleMania, and yes, the build and the story to get here has been absolutely redonkulous, because we could have just sorted this out a few weeks ago, and instead we did the equivalent of Google mapping to our own house. Like we knew where we wanted to be, and we went to the shop and then realized we don't need any groceries. We're talking about. Now, I do appreciate the fact that WWE tried something different and you can't always get a home run. And even though Adam Pearce just wanted to sign the contract, Bianca Belair was like, nope, I'm going to talk to you first, Rhea Ripley, because man, am I sick of you trying to eat your way into everything. You know what, I have come to terms with it now, so yeah, sign the deal, and I'm going to whip your ass. Ripley then tried to respond, but Bianca cut her off once again. She put her name in the dotted line, she shut the contract into Rhea Ripley, and she signed it too. These two kind of got into each other by chucking inanimate objects around the place. What else would you do? The usual man that then happened because Io Sky tried to get involved, but she got totally mugged off. And at one point, it looked like she was going to leave. Adam was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean for this to go down. And Sky was like, don't worry about it. She started totally involved. Or just something right up, she dropped Bianca right into Rhea, and the commentators made the story very clear too. Io Sky, despite being the champion, feels like the third wheel. It didn't mean that Rhea and Bianca were left laying as Io stood tall. It kind of felt like we should have done one of those big old brawls here. Do not forget, we do have one more to go. It was fine, though, and while there are more holes in this than a whack-a-mole, I must say, it was entertaining in a very strange way. But we talked about the negatives, and we have got here. Let's focus on the positives. I really do think this three-way could steal the show at WrestleMania if they are given time. I also can't actually call who is going to win. You may have heard my Bianca Belair crazy idea, and if not, I'm doing a whole video about that soon, but I am going to give it an up. I do think it could have been better. But in terms of what we did here, it's perfectly fine. I also really want to point out that when Adam Pearce introduced Rhea Ripley, he said, representing Judgment Day, that Adam, it's been about a year, I have no idea what happened.
Before we go any further, this video is brought to you by Surfshark. Using a VPN like Surfshark is a bit like wearing pants. All the important stuff stays private and secure when you're out and about online.
Yeah.
Thanks, Surfshark. Not only that, but we've all spent an evening scrolling through Netflix just because you can't find something you want to watch. Well, with Surfshark, you can change your virtual location to access all your favourite content. Whether that be your favourite US TV shows or a movie you are desperate to watch, but for some reason is only available in Peru. Cheers, Peru. First Paddington, now this. Alright. Plus, you can minimise buffering and lag with fast, reliable connection and enjoy seamless streaming with unlimited bandwidth for all users. They also offer over 3,200 different servers in over 100 locations. I mean, there is no way you could guess them all. I adore all their different locations. I mean, for Surfshark, Uzbekistan. Yeah, let's go. I'm hungry. They also offer 24/7 customer support and a 30-day money-back guarantee. And why not check out Surfshark Alert 2, a breach detection system that notifies you of personal data leaks. Click the link in the description or use code CULTUREWRESTLING at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. And now, back to the video.
I just told everybody that the Intercontinental title match at WrestleMania is going to be Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. And I was going to have a breakdown until thankfully we got the Judgment Day segment to set that up. Why didn't we do this the other way around? Because we were in the banquet, the Day of Judgment, and yes, Liv Morgan was like, oh, I'm so happy we got Dominic in there. Because Finn, you'll totally agree with this. Why have one Judgment Day member in the match? But you can have two. Now, Finn, Kenny didn't like this, but he wasn't going to say anything. He was like, that is right. Although we do need to address the rumors. Dom, you know, just want to put it out there. A lot of people are saying you're a massive loser. He then basically stormed off as Carlito made it very clear, I have your back, Mr. Condom. I actually quite like this because it is nice and simple stuff. Honestly, now we are this close. I think Dominic Mysterio should win the Intercontinental Championship by beating Finn Balor via nefarious means, probably with the help of Carlito, which not only gets spit out of the Judgment Day, but Tom Breaker. He will blow his top like a volcano. I think that was example. Speaking about title 2,
yeah,
trying to fly everything with the women's Intercontinental Championship.
You probably will.
Now, I'll tell you, my friends, I do not get this at all. Because it was Bailey versus Lyra Valkyria. And honestly, if we're doing it here, and it had a very straight finish, I can only assume that Bailey and Lyra are going to be in the women's tag team title match instead. I do not understand why we can't do both. There's 2 + 2 = potato, and this women's IC title, mean about it, but it just doesn't have very much importance. WWE isn't allowing it to have importance. Does that mean when I was a child, therefore it's getting it down? As for the match, though, it was really good. I mean, it was a little bit wibbly-wobbly at first, but that's okay. They found their feet, I tell you. Lyra was going for the most devastating move in all the sports entertainment supplies roll-up. I mean, I did some work. Bailey was like, well, I'm going to do it too. 1, 2, 0. The fans actually did get into this as well after a while, which I was impressed with, because again, this title kind of felt like it has been thrown out to the side. At one point, I think Valkyria applied what she called the Irish swing, or something like that. It did not look fun, when Bailey was like, ha, I'm going to do a half Boston Crab. And later she was like, no, I'm going to do a full Boston Crab. Stephanie totally confused. I mean, she is not from Boston. Basically, Bailey hit a neck breaker too when they spilled to the outside, and she hit a Bailey to Betty. So we were teasing, oh, she's going to win. I don't think anybody would. She was able to kick out the night windows. We were giving her something, and she hit a sunset bomb. Before we also got to an 8 DDT when they kind of scrubbing on the ground, and we could just smell what was going to happen. So after she did give up on her second Boston Crab, she went to the roast plant. I was like, I'm sorry, my friend. And she did hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. 1, 2, 3. We even had something ridiculous after this too, because Bailey shoved Lyra like, I'm not your friend anymore. When she got back into the ring and she gave her a hug. This is either a tease or it's a double tease. We're going to have to see what is going to go down on SmackDown. But we're talking about all that other stuff. So listen, it was a good match. They are both very good wrestlers. Don't see why we couldn't have done this at WrestleMania. Like a bee in my bonnet. Charlie Kelly was then interviewing comedian Bert Kreischer, because we do need more celebrities on WWE TV, when Chad Gable walked in and basically said, I don't like you being here. We never really found out much more because I just walked in and he whipped his top off. So Bert also whipped his top off. Now listen, the law of averages tells us, and he's one person in the world tuned in to Monday Night Raw at this time, and it's the first thing of wrestling they've ever seen. So now taking sports entertainment is dudes just whipping off their clothes. Actually, maybe that's a pretty good description. Jackie Redmond was then interviewing AJ Styles too, and man, did she troll him. She was like, you are feuding with Logan Paul. Well, it's not going very well, is it? Someone promised us that come WrestleMania he was going to embarrass Logan Paul, which is when Carrie Cross walked in. My gosh, was he the bringer of truth? He was like, listen, Nash, you absolutely cannot lose, because if you lose, we all lose. Ain't that the truth? AJ didn't want to hear this though, because he was winding him up, so he was like, fine, I will take you on next week on Raw. That must be Carrier's first match on TV in ages. Now listen, after Styles had stormed off, Scarlett was like, we're doing it, Carrion. A little worrying that it is going to be Karrion Kross helping Logan Paul, but stopped AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Watch this space. When American Made defeated the LWO, and this feud is just totally bad. So of course it was the Creeds and El Grande Americano taking on the King Wild, Cruz Del Toro, and Dragon Lee. Just from those names alone, you knew who was going to win. Bruce and Julius did take over to begin with when Wild started to throw in some shots. But almost instantly, we got the tag klaxon, and everybody started to fight. This match has barely begun. Why do we not care about the rules? It was mostly so the LWO could hit all the dives, and it is 2025. This is when I had an epiphany. I was like, wait a minute. This means at some point behind the scenes, Chad Gable had sat down with Creeds, and Ivy now who was at ringside and said, listen, here's my big plan for WrestleMania. I'm going to wear a mask going to pretend I'm a luchador. And these three goops went, boss, that's a great idea. So they're all insane. My guys then saw these guys and thought, well, maybe we can do that with Superplex, which they did do. But essentially, that just meant they could beat up the bad guys, or Del Toro's hand got pretty warm. Hot tag, oh wow. It was El Grande who stopped that, but then Dragon Lee snapped him with a power bomb. When Julius just coming off with his flippy stuff off the top rope. Honestly, given his size, mightily impressive. Well, then did his mega dive. That's different pace, one of the craziest things you're ever going to see, because he basically landed in Gibraltar, which is when we got one of the funniest things on the whole show. Because El Grande went to Ivy Nile, and she essentially passed him a brick, and he stuck it up his mask before he headbutted Rey Mysterio, who was out with his puppies, and he went to the top rope, and he hit a diving headbutt, and of course, he did have this steel plate on his face, and surprisingly, he got the 1, 2, 3. Quite a creative finish. He also did this to Dragon Lee, so they must have come up with a great plan of how else do you stop a dragon. It does kind of feel like WWE has backed off a little bit when it comes to the El Americano Grande stuff, which is not his name. That probably is the best thing. When you watch wrestling, you want to be distracted. You just want to be reminded of the crazy, crazy real world. Later on, too, Rey Mysterio went to Adam Pearce and said, this guy is just taking the piss out of everything I stand for. And I'm like, yeah, that is a good point. Why don't you have a match at WrestleMania? Let's get rid of all the shenanigans. This is going to be Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable on the grandest stage of them all. And honestly, my dudes, if that is bad, I will grow my hair back. Actually, it can't happen, but the point is, it's going to be brilliant. But even though it's been the wackiest road to get there, all of it is getting it up. I am excited. When it was time to build to our WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, something sideways, WWE did a good job. So we got a recap of what Gunther had done to Jimmy Uso last week. When Gunther was coming to the ring, and you would have thought he just became best friends with Santa Claus, he could not have been happier. Now, he wasn't able to talk as Jey Uso interrupted him. And even though Jey came to the crowd, he was really serious here, to the point he got in the ring, knocked the microphone out of the champion's hand. So once again, sometimes the simplest things are the most effective. When Jey said to Gunther, do you have a mum? Oh no, you're totally off script. Of course, Jey had a point, because Gunther does have a mum, and Gunther does have a family, and I bet you caught up with him in the week. Well, I did that too, and you know what the discussion with my mother was? How is your brother Jimmy, who is now in the hospital? He also revealed that Jim Boyd had 15 stitches put in his head, and said my mother called me Joshua, which is a real name, and the question that came after that is, why didn't you help him? Gosh, that got me right in the tum-tum. Now, Jey said he never lied to his mother. He's not going to start now, so he gave her the real answer, which is he's scared of Gunther, and he didn't know what to do. Now, seriously, this was so good because it got you once again.
What the fuck?
Like, yeah, Jey, I get that. But also, you were handcuffed to the rope. I think you probably should have thrown that in first. The whole point, though, is that Gunther has had his number up to this point, but when he saw what he did to his family, he saw the blood coming from Jimmy's head, all of a sudden he went through some kind of change. And now he's like, you know what? I ain't fearful of you anymore. Come WrestleMania, I'm going to whoop your ass. He then went on and cut this great promo when he was like the night before WrestleMania. I'm going to get down on my knees and pray for you, because the things that I'm going to do to you are going to be so fluffed up, well, somebody's going to have to grant me forgiveness. I'm like, damn it, Jey, you point at the wall and I'll run through it. Therefore, he shall walk into that big old show for his family, and he will walk out with the championship. Seriously. This has to happen now. I don't think I can support anybody more. He also basically threw the mic at Gunther and then stared at him, because that's what wrestlers do. And there you go, all you negative nerds, you lot of who just says eat all the time. He didn't say eat once, and he just bent this deep down in his tootsie toes. It's the most believable he has been, and he was great at this. Don't forget that Gunther said nothing as well, which also worked. So yeah, Jimmy Uso died, the Jey Uso Gunther feud could live. But I am absolutely giving it up. Just the way you build a match. The failure of Ebcvxtreme and talking to Adam Pearce, I'm just like, what do you even need to discuss? You got into this number one, wasn't tag team gauntlet, and you two haven't even had a match. This is when Rey Mysterio stormed in and got his Chad Gable / El Grande Americano match, which I can't wait when, yes, Tony Hinchcliffe joined commentary. Now I'm just going to give this a down, because actually I didn't think this worked at all. And really, I don't know what happened on this evening. But the commentary between Michael Cole and Pat McAfee was really weird. I joined the Lara Valkyrie and Bailey match. They spent half the time going, oh my god, this is this is so great, everybody should love this. Like, you've gone way too far, man. You become like exposition heads. You can't smash that into my face. You have to let it breathe. Also, Tony had lines like Michael Cole's been doing commentary since David versus Goliath. That's all you could come up with? You sound like me? Yeah. They were also talking over the fact we were about to have a tag team title match because it was the War Raiders versus the New Day. Once again, I was like, well, why aren't we holding us until WrestleMania? But actually, given the aftermath, well, I think this one may work. Now, just a little bit rushed, but I think the fans kind of agreed because they didn't get massively into it. No one actually believed that Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston were going to win. But they are so good as heels, because as soon as Kofi was on the back foot, he just left. He caused a bit of a fuss. Woods then pretended he was ready to go, but it was a little bit of a ruse so they could get to Eric. So once again, especially given what we are about to talk about, come WrestleMania, they have to win in the worst way possible. Now, none of their plan did actually work because the War Raiders decided, well, we're going to use each other as human projectiles, and they squished the New Day, and they took Woods and they smashed him on the outside. And then it got so strange because the New Day just threw a chair into the ring, and this is when Ivar and Xavier Woods were fighting over it. But as soon as the referee turned around, I think Ivar just had like a demon possess him because he went boop and he hit Xavier Woods right in the tum-tum. The referee was like, well, that was stupid, wasn't it? You just got disqualified. Now, if we had left it there, I would have given it down. But actually, what we did do is the New Day grabbed his chest. They went totally crazy on Eric and Ivar, went after their necks, and both of those guys had real-life problems with it. When Kofi was like, well, I'm going to give you a top rope pulverizer right onto your face. This is when the useless wrestling security finally were like, well, we should probably go out there and stop it. So now I'm thinking at WrestleMania, maybe do some kind of weird stipulation like a chairs match, but the New Day have to win. And they have to win using super violence. We did take this heel turn and run it all the way to town. So I'm going to give the build down because, again, it just feels like it's come out of nowhere. This was a well-executed angle. Honestly, it was totally flubbed up. And Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, just these insane people. Well, yeah, it definitely ticks a box. Let's get this on WrestleMania and let's make it work. And let's build the tag division, all three tag divisions, as we do come out the other side. Just think they could use a little bit more depth. Penta then defeated Dominic. Actually, that excites me. So if you have been watching WWE for a while, you know somebody is about to win a championship. They lose. Now, Dom does kind of fit into a special little box, because he could probably be defeated for the rest of his career and still be a success. Now I hope. Now Dom was doing well until he decided to pose, so Penta hit with a backstabber. Because Carlito was being addicted on the outside, Penta remembered it was 2025. He went and did a dive. That's a mega fine story. Mysterio was only in the Three Amigos in, but he went for the 619. He got super kicked right in the face. And Penta then decided, I'm going to go for my Destroyer. Mysterio was like, no, I'm going to hit you with the Destroyer instead. I enjoyed this much. He also went for his frog splash, but Penta was able to get the knees up when he saw Dominic's flailing arm. He gave him the sacrifice and he hit with the Penta driver. 1, 2, 3. See what I mean? Clean as a whistle. Of course, Carlito jumped in right away because that's the judgment they do too. When Braun Breaker came out, as opposed to murder all these guys, and I kid you not, he ran up the aisleway and he jumped for his spear on Carlito around about 422 miles away, but he still murdered him. It could very well be one of the best spears you've ever seen. He also took out Dominic and Penta. He doesn't care anymore. All his fair and love of war when it comes to the Continental title. But Finn Balor jumped him, and given that he is a veteran, he ran away at the right time, and he held the title above his head. So yes, sure, this year's WrestleMania is totally obsessed with multi-person matches. But this one works for me because I do think it has the jeopardy, and also I do actually think we could end up in a world where Dominic Mysterio cheats, he pins Finn Balor, then takes Finn Balor out of the Judgment Day, and Braun Breaker is super duper pissed. All of this is good story stuff. I'm giving it up. Which is when it happened. We have talked about this for the last few weeks. Eventually, this CM Punk Roman Reigns Seth Rollins feud was going to find its footing. We have basically kicked off on SmackDown, and in terms of what we did on this Raw, draw a line under it because we're there. Now, Paul Heyman kicked things off, and he wants to address SmackDown. He was like, do not get me wrong, I'll always be loyal to my tribal chief Roman Reigns. But also, I'll also be loyal to CM Punk's like next thing. That's like, cool, that's not how it works. That's like going to your mistress and your wife and saying, don't worry, everybody can get along. They ain't going to agree to that. He wasn't about to go on and say at WrestleMania he will make one thing clear. And Seth Rollins interrupted. I thought, Seth, not now. He was about to give us the goods. And Rollins thankfully called Heyman on his BS. He was like, what you just said doesn't make any sense. You can't have it both ways, bro. You're going to have to choose. He then did lay it in, though, because he was like, well, you can't pick Roman Reigns, because that guy doesn't give a damn about it. Do you remember what happened after WrestleMania 14 when I helped Roman lose his WWE title? That guy vanished. And did he bring you with you, Paul? No, he didn't. And instead, he allowed you to be thrown to a table, courtesy of Soda Sikoa and friends. I was like, well, that is very true. It was in CM Punk's turn as well, because they started talking about the Survivor Series, the War Games. And was CM Punk the first people that was asked? No, he was not. Seth Rollins was the guy, and he turned it down. And the only reason Punk agreed to help Paul Heyman is because he wanted this favor. Because again, did he help you before that? No. And did he tell you he was going to walk out of WWE 10 years ago? No. He doesn't think about you at all. Once again, these two guys are only out for themselves. And honestly, Seth Rollins was so damn good here, he'd essentially turned into Drew McIntyre. He was going to tell you the truth. Rollins actually does feel for Paul Heyman because he is accidentally wound up right in the middle of this. And actually, the match would be better if it was just three guys fighting for the soul of WWE. Because like, we've had enough soul talk for 2025. But Seth does have a good plan. Because Paul, I can take you out of the match right now with a quick stop. Essentially, he was threatening to kill him. Honestly, got really nasty here too. Because he was like, oh, Paul Heyman, how much is this worth to you? And he was pushing him, and he was shoving him, and he was getting in his face. And Heyman must have been scared here, because eventually he was like, take your hands off me. That's cool. I respect that, but now you're gonna die. Eventually Rollins charged him into the corner, and only then did CM Punk came out. So either one, he was watching this going, nah, I'm gonna give it a few beats, or he's in the bathroom or something. And of course these two started to fight. CM Punk threw Seth Rollins into similar still steps, but when Rollins got back in the ring, and Punk chased him, boom, curb stop. Heyman then freaked out, he went to his best friend to try to help him, but he was in the stop position. Seth was going to do this when he stopped himself, not stopped, he stopped himself, and he grabbed a microphone and he said to Paul, well, look what I just did. I didn't murder you, so you know what, Mr. Heyman? Now you owe me a favor too. Cut the credits. Now, no, that is not how a favor works, but look at it from Paul Heyman's point of view. This is essentially a threat or blackmail, whatever you want to call it. He doesn't want to get destroyed, but maybe deep down in his tum-tum he does freak out, and he decides to help Seth Rollins. It's just so smart. From a story point of view, because Heyman can help Punk, Heyman can help Roman, and now we have the logic that he can also help out Seth too. Rollins also looks so proud and honest. This was some of his best work, and this is the character I want him to lean into coming out of WrestleMania. And he does come across like a psychopath, but also everything he says comes from a really real place. So I am going to give it an up. We just took a bunch of jeopardy and we injected it into this thing to the point Paul Heyman could help Seth Rollins wins, as Rollins does do a massive heel turn. I don't think I would mind that at all. So the whole thing is just leveled up a lot, and you should absolutely find 15 minutes today. And it is some of Seth's best work. He is just bringing it. And overall, apart from a few flummy-wummy bits, I actually thought this Raw was pretty good. Although next